Hey everybody! This is a new thing since I don't know if you're on my email list. You may know that we have recently, as of last week, switched to doing. I'm sorry, my brain is totally scrambled right now. We have family in town for spring break. We switched last week to I'm going to try to hold myself accountable to be better about sending out weekly newsletters on with free patterns, new products, and kind of dribbling things out more that way instead of just being kind of like radio silence and then being like, boom, here's a collection. So trying to be better about that because I polled everybody. Like I said, if you're on YouTube and you're not on my email list, I do it's really lazy how much I depend on everybody. Either, well, on here I've asked y'all questions too, and on my email list and on Facebook, I pretty much, if I don't know the answer to something, I ask people, like, hey, what do you want? And I need to drink some of this coffee. There may or may not be bourbon cream in this coffee. It was well needed this afternoon. Like I said, we've had family in town. Hi, Renee, which has been fun, but what is it? I don't even know what my kids are in. What are they in, preschool? Like, preschool's been out, so like, it's been a little crazy. So I'm recording this now while the schizophrenic weather here in Tennessee is actually out, so that and you see I have allergies, which is why my glasses are on, and then all the light was reflecting in my glasses, so there's no winning. But I was trying to record this while everybody was momentarily leaving me alone, and I'm going to then attach this video, so if you're on YouTube Live, you get to see this early, and if you're on my email list, I'm going to, God willing, get this video put in my email, because for those of you who don't know, I used to, like I said, kind of put everything out in like a big collection about every 3 months, and I would do like a live thing in our Facebook group, very similar to this, where I would show off all the stuff and answer people's questions, and it was super fun, and everybody seemed to like it. So this is my hopes to replicate that sort of by, doing a little weekly video and kind of talking about things, and then that way I can answer people's questions, and then most importantly, I'll have this video I can embed in an email, I hope. So anyhow, this is, and so I will be more collected next week, hopefully, but this week's yarn is going to be this super pretty stuff I've been torturing y'all with on Instagram that I've been taking pictures of, and like so I was trying to get good light. It was a natural white long wool, which are the really long, y'all been seeing me in past videos here recently, combing, and it was long and curly. And I actually might have some laying around here. And then this is natural indigo, so it's really pretty blues, like darker blues and lighter blue variation, and then the white, of course, is the natural color variation of indigo dye, which this was my first foray into indigo dyeing, so I'm really happy with it. And this is Navajo Plied, which I think turned out really cool, because I don't know, most people, I feel like when they Navajo ply, the general idea is that it's all like super smooth, and my yarn, by nature and design, thanks Renee, is not always so smooth. So this one I thought would be really fun to do a technique that is usually very smooth, but like leave some of the lockiness and like twistiness of the yarn, of the wool, excuse me, in the yarn. So that was my goal, and I'm very happy to report that that's how it ended up. So it ended up really cool, and I'm wanting these little videos to be, like I said, I feel like we throw around a lot of terminology that people may or may not know. If you make yarn or buy yarn, and you do know them, then it's just commonplace, but a lot of people don't. Navajo ply is the same thing as chain ply, and you will see them abbreviated as N-ply or C-ply, but it's the same thing, as far as I can tell. There seems to be some debate on how correct the Navajo Indian Association with it is, which is why I think some people call it chain ply. But as the anthropologist in me, of course, had to research, and it does look like there's at least a couple articles out there supporting that the Navajo Indians, I don't know if they invented it, but maybe used this technique or with their weaving. Or at least they used yarn that was similar to this in their weaving, which they're very famous for their weaving. And if I'm saying something stupid and offending somebody, I don't mean to. That was just what I could find on Google because I was trying to figure out like what the correct thing to call it. Thank you. I'm glad you think I have good information. So, you know, like don't shoot the messenger. But that's the general idea. I know some people have been confused. Like if you're in like Facebook groups and you'll hear people call it chain ply or Navajo ply or in ply or C ply. And you're like, what is that? So anyhow, that's what that is. And so that's one of my yarn term for the week. And then my other thing, because I know last week I did, like I said, I'm trying out the whole shop update thing, which I've never really...
Mommy, I want to be part of the video.
No, you don't need to be part of the video, baby. Killian.
Hi. Hi.
Okay. Yes, it's Killian. She's short.
Hi.
Okay, go on. You understand the bourbon and the coffee now. It's been a little, it's been crazy around here lately. But, yeah, she's very cute. She's very cute. But I just, like, her and her sister and the dog all went in the backyard and got, like, covered in red clay. Luckily, the dog more so than the girls. So we washed the dog twice, like 5 minutes ago. So, all kinds of adventures. But the other thing, like I said, last week, I'm trying out the whole shop update thing, which I may or may not stick with, so y'all let me know. Do you like getting shop updates, or do you want me to just save everything and hoard it and then put it all out at once? But I didn't have anything for the spinners. And it's funny, when I ask everybody, I'm like, do y'all like yarn or fiber? Like, most of you say you're following me for the yarn, but then, like, the people that are, I feel like, well, we did sell out our yarn last week, so... neither here nor there, but I wanted to have a fiber option, is where that ramble was going, for all my spinners. And so I made these really fun, like, super textured art bats. So I figured that that would be my, my let's talk about what that is for beginners or new people to the fiber industry. You'll see, especially if you're on Instagram, people, they're like, hashtag textured art bat, you know. And so you see that like thrown around a lot, and so you're like, what the fuck? What's a textured art bat versus a smooth one? So this is one that is going out this afternoon. And this would be more of an example of, this was my Coffee and Optimism, but it's smoother. See how all the fibers are like very, you know, compact, and you know, you get like the alpaca because it's a little shorter, and you know, alpacas are crazy, so it's a little wily, but for the most part, this is a good example of a smooth art bat. And with a smooth art bat, you know, can spin really thin. You can spin more well-behaved yarn, especially if you're not me. And so that would be an example of a smooth art bat. And then this is an example of a textured art bat. And you can see that this one has all sorts of fun things in it. It's got, and I did run this through the drum carder twice, but like I said, it's very textured, so it's just going to look very bumpy. But it's got these little silk and merino noil, I believe is the correct term there. I've heard it noil and neps, but it's the little funny ends. And when you spin them, it looks like tweed. You want it? It's great. It's great. There's only two. So yeah, if you're watching it on YouTube, you do get to see what I'm going to be posting live before the email goes out. So this will be in the email, and then this part is faux cashmere, which is technically a nylon, but it's hand dyed, and it's really soft and silky. And I've got that mixed in with the white is a Frisian wool, and then the brown is Shetland. So the idea with the textured bat is obviously that we've got the fuzzy, we've got the silky, we've got some bamboo, the hand-dyed bamboo in there, and then of course the neps and stuff that will spin out into tweed, and of course there's silver sparkle, which you may or may not be able to see. Oh, and I forgot, I put a bunch of stuff in here. The green is some of the wool locks, so you can see where the green goes through here, and so those have a real curly texture to them. So the idea with the textured bats is that if you're wanting to make more of the textured art yarn, it is obviously best achieved, and I made that really tight looking, best achieved with a textured bat. They are 2 ounces each, which is what they just look bigger or smaller depending on how tightly I have them wrapped. Yeah, you can really see the green in that one. They are 2 ounces each, like most of my bats. I think I just have, the only 1 ounce ones are the little ones with the silk, because silk's kind of pricey, so I didn't, I wanted to give people options. I'm all about the options. But yeah, so that is, I wanted my term of the week for that, is the compare and contrast of a textured art bat for more of your chunky art yarn spinning endeavors versus a smooth art bat for your well-behaved polite yarn endeavors. And one thing I've been enjoying doing lately is trying to spin, my stuff is usually somewhere in between. I like to spin yarn. I act like I do it on purpose. It's just how my yarn turns out. I like to spin my yarn where it comes out, like take kind of the textured art bats, but then try to spin them in a more like traditional way. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good analogy for my life in more than one way. But anyhow, I think I'm gonna cut this short because I got picture editing to do. And like I said, the sun here has been crazy. So y'all think good thoughts about these pictures turning out where you can actually see. If I try to put a good bit of effort into that, my colors and, you know, so it all looks good. But anyhow, so shh, you've seen it all here first. And this video, like I said, God willing, will get embedded in the email on our newsletter. And our newsletter, I'm always bad about saying this, please like and subscribe our channel. And the newsletter you keep hearing me talk about that I obviously use to shamelessly poll my audience on their opinions on everything. So if you want to be involved in that, please go join my email list, and it's at my website. And then click on coupons, because you get a coupon when you sign up, so it might be misleading. So to get on the email list, you go get the coupon. And what else? Oh yeah, if you have a small craft business that you would like to be a big craft business, our sponsor for this channel is Renee Christine, and you can get some really awesome free training from her, also on our site. And I'll try to stick a link here, but it's on our site under sponsors. So go check that out too. And I will see you in the email later. And how do I stop this? Ah!